places. So yeah, okay.
See my family.
Fair enough. So
How's
you're from
this prime
PE.
drink? Sorry.
Do you want to try it?
I just want to know, what is it about? Like, I saw a video of people standing in queues. I was like, not for a drink, because I can't even understand. Are you still in a queue?
Right. Do you know, are you familiar with like the YouTube space, like YouTube influencers globally?
Not really, but I do know a few names. Obviously, they pop up.
Jake Paul,
Logan
Paul, and this other guy,
his brother,
KSI. Jake Paul is his brother, the
I
boxer.
remember those.
Yeah.
They used to just like do.
They used to do
stupid
like
shit.
vines and shit.
Yes.
You remember vines back in the
I
day?
remember there was some controversy with Logan Paul.
Yes,
and some shit.
he recorded a dead body in a forbidden forest in
yes.
China or something, and he got cancelled for like 2 years. Then he became a billionaire. So hey, controversy sells. All right. So him and his buddy created this drink, this energy drink called Prime, and it blew up in the States, blew up in the UK, and now they've just brought it to South Africa, and all the
Gen Z people going crazy like this.
the Gen Zs are losing it.
But those kids are a bit crazy, no?
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way to like
But I admire
to stand
them.
out.
No, I admire them because my friend was saying the other day how they're gonna bully you, like something like that. I'm like, these kids, these inclusive kids, don't
Yeah.
bully you. They are
Oh,
for
she
people.
said these
They are
inclusive
for
kids.
everyone. There's no bullying.
It's the whole alphabet in here. Oh wait, no, that's it.
No,
That
it just
that
means
is
they, like,
true.
They trumped that bullying thing. They stand up for each other, like individuality.
They know the
Everyone's
law
happy.
and shit.
Because with us, it was popular. Or
Yeah.
you're not popular.
Yeah.
End of story.
Literally.
Not, oh, I'm gonna be this cute artist. Unless you are hot, it was not working.
No, these Gen Zs really dictate the terms to how they want life to go, and that's how it goes. Because it's like, I don't want to get a 9 to 5 job anymore. I want to work from home. Okay, I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. Brrr, millionaire. I don't want to, get a degree anymore. Waste a ton of money in college. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna become a professional rugby player. Brrr, baller. Brrr. Like, we didn't have that when we were kids. Like, it was like.
That was also a problem with me for modeling because I was an academic.
Yeah.
I was brilliant at academics.
What are you, a Virgo?
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Oh, I see it. Yes.
you too.
Yes. Okay, great.
You know, it's funny. I've only dated Aquarius men.
That's the thing about Aquarius. That's the thing about Aquarius
How can
people,
we
though.
date each other?
Because I think, and an Aquarius girl told me this. She said Aquarius women only date someone who's very similar or someone who's the complete opposite of them. So oftentimes they'll end up with an Aquarius man or a Leo man. Because the Leo is like the sun and the Aquarius is like
That's true.
the winter moon. So that contrast kind of creates like some explosive shit. But yo, Aquarius women are difficult. Y'all are tough. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are eccentric. Y'all see the world in a very different way to the rest of us. So philanthropy all the way. You make it look easy.
Really?
Yeah, you're making it sound so easy. I've met so many girls in the past 2-3 months who are like, they've been planning for the past 3 years how to enter Miss SA, how to like, get
You know
booked.
what it is? The only thing it is to just look at yourself. That's it. Nothing else.
What do you mean?
You have to do nothing else but invest in yourself. Understand what you like. Understand who you are. Understand what you want. That's it. And I think that was my biggest issue at Miss SA is that I didn't fully understand
Who you
myself. Yeah. I learned a lot about myself from Miss SA. Like, completely. It changed a lot for me because there were things I noticed that I was like, I want to change that. I want to work on that. I see all these things. And it was very interesting. It was like a real growth process. It was painful.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my gosh, it just showed you so much. It was like an awakening of sorts afterwards.
How's the pressure though? Because every day you wake up and you're like, am I prettier than this girl? Or is this girl prettier than me?
You know, I've
It's
never
like the
thought-
whole thing. Like literally that's what the competition is, isn't it?
No.
Who can
Because
walk the
everybody's
best?
Pretty. That's the thing.
Who's invested in a charity? Who's got knowledge about the world? Who can actually be a role model, right? So they're
Every
comparing
single
like
girl there. Every single girl there. That's what you need to realize. Every single girl can do that job if they wanted to. It's just you, your light that will shine through, something that will distinguish you. if it's your, that's why I would say if it's your time, it's your time. But
Uh-huh.
because everyone's beautiful, everyone's accomplished, everyone's done these things. It's just something about you.
But like, to what extent does your natural appearance play a part? Because I can have the best profile, the best, CSI initiative, but I'm just not tall enough, or I'm just not sleek enough, and I will never be able to compete.
And
Where
then
you,
your first model lesson of modeling, first one.
okay,
But everybody's just different. If you're not what they're looking for at the time, you're just not. There's nothing you can do to be it. Like
Yeah.
you said, if they want someone taller, there's nothing you can do. You did your best. It's not at a virtue of like something you did wrong. It's just it wasn't you.
yeah,
You
okay,
have to accept that gracefully and understand it's just not for you. That's someone else's job that they're meant to get, not you.
sounds like you've done a lot of the psychological
No, I've always
workout.
seen
Like you've built like a strong
do you know
understanding of like the standards that you should hold in general. Is that like
No, that's a personal standard. That's what I'm saying. Work on yourself,
Mhm.
and everything else will make sense and unfold in the way that they will, and you'll understand it better because you understand yourself.
wise words already? No, this episode is gonna be so lit. No,
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Okay, I don't want to ask you too many questions because then I'm gonna
It opens up the conversation. You go back to it.
so we can revisit the. Okay,
Of course,
perfect.
we can talk about everything.
100%. Okay, perfect. Do you feel like the standards have changed though? Like what a
A lot.
supermodel used to be, like a Naomi Campbell back in 2005, is not what's happening now. Now it's BBLs and like where do you think the spectrum goes up to for being a professional model, not just a pretty girl who can make money selling pictures?
It's changed. I don't think those exist anymore, like at that level that it did.
Mm.
It's completely changed. I guess it's evolution. Everything changes. We will never go back to that. There will never be those supermodel times again.
You
It's
reckon?
just different. Yeah, I do.
Don't you think everything happens in a cycle?
Yeah, eventually.
Like this isn't
Of course.
new.
Yeah.
There was a
eventually.
time, maybe in the 60s, where it was in fashion to be tall, sleek, and
I think skinny's coming back now.
skinny's coming back,
And people hate it.
but it's gonna go again because of inclusivity. There's
but
gonna be
it's
like,
gonna affect people so much still. But the thing about skinny is it will always be a thing in people's minds because everyone that's bigger wants to be skinny.
But that's
Even
the
if
thing.
They don't like.
even if they don't realize
they're
it,
not gonna do it.
yeah.
They want to be.
But that's the thing about being skinny. It represents natural. And right now we're in a world where everyone's trying to move away from natural. Like, I want to change my eye color. I want to make my lips bigger. I want to get, fill up my chest. And it's like Kim Kardashian did it, so it's okay. So I think there's going to be that war of the naturals versus the...
Oh no, you feel it in a dynamic with girls even. You'll see the difference with the more natural girls and the more like done up
Yeah.
doing their own like the lips and stuff.
Do you guys play... Obviously, you play in the same space now. But do you feel like inclusivity is going too far in the modeling space? In the sense where it's like a man can
Inclusivity has
compete,
helped so many people.
but a man can compete with a woman,
Yeah,
and
it's
have-
that way.
and like if a man is competing with a woman in sports, for example, just because he's a transgender, he's got 200% more of an advantage. In the modeling space, maybe he's taller and he's got more of a shape, like broader shoulders, which fits that dress perfectly. So he's taken the opportunity away from like 100 women. Do you feel like it's okay if you didn't qualify, it was not meant for you, or it's like some advantages should be restricted?
You see, I don't see things on a societal level most of the time because these are all societal standards.
Mm-hmm.
We came up with these rules and we all just follow them blindly.
Uh-huh.
We're like, that's it. Why? What are you actually saying? People are just being themselves and we're putting them in a box and then we upset when they climb out. And I don't get it. If that man comes in and he's the look that's inspiring some sort of creativity right now, how can we stop that? Like, why are we fighting it? Why are we upset? Like, you're upset because someone else is doing something and they're doing it well at that time because that's essentially where the universe has put them at that time.
That's deep.
Yeah, I think we really just worry about society that we know nothing about, really.
So we should go with the flow.
No, not go with the flow.
But we need to then
respect humans for who they are,
Yeah.
individually.
accept them for who they want to be.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with you to support someone else to be happy.
That's
It actually has
deep.
nothing to do with you.
That is so deep. I feel like that's a sermon on a Sunday for real. No, because seriously, like it's such a big cog in the wheel that we're kind of having this tug of war of like, this is my piece of the cake, this is your piece of the cake. 50, 100, 500 years ago it was, this is my slave, this is your slave. And now it's like,
focusing on
you're
the
black,
wrong thing.
you're white, you're colored, you're Indian. No, we're here, you're there. And it's like, just, okay, let's see what happens if you just let it do its thing.
Yeah. Like, why does it bother people so much that there are so many gay guys? Why are you bothered? Like, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah?
At all. Like, think about it. You went to involve yourself. You get upset.
It wasn't even your party. You weren't invited. You were a plus one.
If you don't like something, leave. If you don't want to do something, don't.
That's very
Think about
true.
it, It's simple. It's so simple, and we make all these things so complicated, and we fuss ourselves.
But that's because we all come from like, we're still part of a generation that comes from solid tradition, you know? Like
it's
our
hard
parents,
living this life, eh?
exactly,
It's
our parents
very hard.
barely got out of the space where you couldn't even own a property. So they're still like, if you're not an engineer, you know,
like that.
you're not an engineer, you're not a doctor, you're not
make
gonna
sense
be
to me.
you're not gonna make it. So now we've inherited that. We understand apartheid, we understand the struggle, but we're trying to move away from it. But it's like, that's still very extreme
You
though.
grew up with it.
Like
so it's
like you know, like it. If that was me, I would get disowned yesterday. But what if it was my kid? What would I do if it was my kid? Type thing. So now you just see how society is changing and the culture is changing, which brings us back to the main conversation of how open is the door in the industry now. If you want to be a model, you don't necessarily have to starve yourself anymore, you know? So what do these young girls actually need to start focusing more on to get that opportunity, as opposed to trying to be this perfect like sculpture that they've seen on a magazine somewhere? So that door is open, but how wide is it? What do you have to do? Do you have to like self-promote more? Do you have to post a variety of types of pictures? Like, what do they do to get noticed? Because that's the main thing. Like, if I'm a girl watching this and I'm like, Lauren's on this podcast, holy shit. Miss Essay entries, I think, are still open now.
No, they just announced top 30 actually.
Oh shit, really? It's late for 2023? Well, those top 30, whoever they are, they're going to watch this and they're going to be like, okay, well, she made it to the top, so I need to take some tips. And I think a big part of the podcast, I want us to kind of explore that. You giving these tips, like, actually, it's not about wearing the most prettiest dress. Maybe it's more about having an open mind and being able to learn. Or prepare before the first, audition by watching the news or some shit. Like,
It takes a long time to prepare for Miss Essay. It's not just I've been in these spaces. Like, kind of, you have to prepare mentally, physically, emotionally. It takes a lot from you. Like, most girls prepare from when they're a young age. I remember being young and watching Miss Essay and being like, and knowing I was going to be on Miss Essay. I knew immediately. I was like, I'm going to do that.
They made this for me.
I was like, I'm going to do that. And so from there, I started sitting up straight. I started walking straight. Nobody told me to do that. Nobody said start doing those things. I did it naturally because I knew I wanted to be Miss Essay. So it's all those little things that get ingrained in you and grow with you, and you're kind of adding on to preparing for Miss Essay. So all it is when you go there is just you've prepared. It's you just giving a part of yourself and then being like, you're the perfect candidate, or you're just not, like.
Yeah, it's just not for you. Not this year.
Yeah, it's not your time.
Okay, so that preparation.
Because also Miss Essay is a business. So
It is.
They don't care about your low feelings. So that's also a very big distinction, because you go there being all like, doe-eyed and happy and like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this and this. Miss S is a business. So they're gonna make the most business savvy decision.
Yeah. So
Zosi and Maya
ooh.
was the most business savvy decision. I'm not saying she didn't deserve it, she did. Every girl in my year deserved it. That's why I keep saying that every single girl deserves it. It's just what makes more sense at the time.
That's rigged though. That is so rigged.
That's
I
the
hate
problem.
that. See, like
But
when you
it's
mix
a
the business,
It is a business.
but that's the thing. When you mix business into anything that's creative, it
But that's
spoils.
the problem that's happening now with influencers and things like that. It's no more the talent or the art or the what. It's what's going to be best.
Who
put
has
out
the
there.
biggest following?
Yeah. What demographic do we need on our side this time? Who do we need to influence? Now married women can enter all these things. Why? Because they want all those demographics. It's not because we believe. No. It's just for numbers. It's just for all these business moves.
It makes so much
These are
sense.
all business moves.
It makes so
Everything
much
in this world
sense.
is a business.
Because this one winner, and I'm I'm not gonna expose myself by naming names, but this one winner, I was like, there is no way in history that this is the most beautiful person to represent South Africa. There is no way. Something else is going on here. That's when I think I started having like thoughts of what you're talking about. Like, it's actually a business.
And a lot of us in my year, we also didn't realize that. You know, we were young, you come in, like, you always had this plan, I'm going to do this and this, say, da da da. And then you realize, oh, goodness, this is a business, and you only realize it too late.
Wait, no, I need to get this clip. I need to catch this clip. Where's my phone? Just like that, I lost my phone. It's not anywhere there, is it?
No. Okay, it's here somewhere.
There you are.
Thanks.
All yours. I tasted the green one and it was putrid. It was literally,
When last did I hear someone use that word?
it was medicine. It deserves that word. Like, it was that bad.
That is hilarious. Fine.
We're getting the endorsement deal. Yep. Don't worry, you can have 60%.
That tastes like medicine.
Right? I think the sugar levels aren't to our local standards.
Yeah. I noticed that a lot with drinks overseas. Our sugar is more real sugar.
Like, we have Energade and we're
And
happy
that is
with
the best
Energade.
thing.
We're happy with Energade and we're not going to betray our own.
Honestly, so much better than this.
Miss Loren.
So what is your podcast primarily about? Is it industry based most of the time?
No, it's actually about men and women.
Hmm.
Because there's just such a huge disconnect in society, local society, global society, the culture in general. I feel like there's this huge disconnect between men and women. Men don't really understand women. And women don't really understand men. But here's the thing, women also don't really understand other women. So it's like a conversation needs to be had around what's creating this disconnect. And it can't happen without a man and a woman who are in this modern day having a conversation about what do you actually think men want, or what do you actually think women want? What are your expectations of a real man? What are your expectations of a real woman? And you realize, like, yo, what our parents thought is completely gone out the window. Like, what a traditional woman was back then versus what a traditional woman is now is completely different. So if we want to bridge that gap, we need to talk more about it openly. Like hoe culture.
Because even a lot
Lesser
of men
culture.
don't have like real female friends, so they can't even speak about things to them that they don't understand.
Exactly.
Or like
Exactly.
They try to sleep with all the females.
Exactly. So anytime you're in the vicinity of a female, you're like, I'm running game.
Yeah.
She's probably not gonna bite, but if she bites, it's a one night stand and then on to the next one. So you're never really having constructive conversations other than your mom and your sister, to whom you're not gonna talk about certain things. So I started this with my ex. We broke up very recently, but this was like no, it's all good. I'm not the emotional type like that. Like once it's over, then everything else goes with it. But the whole concept or the whole idea behind it was therapy. Like we need to have therapy because we're having a lot of issues behind closed doors, and it's not healthy for us to not talk about it without getting into a fight. Why does every time you point out something at me and I point out something at you, it's an argument? Let's get to a space where we can just talk openly and be like, I didn't like that because that was hoe behavior. What's hoe behavior? Because now you don't understand your perception of what hoe behavior is, and my perception is different. Because from a female's perspective, is women empowerment. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna show some skin, I'm gonna go to the club, twerk on the table, because I'm strong, independent, and I don't need a man. But to a man, it's like that's hoe behavior because every other man around you is looking at you like you're a hoe, so your value decreases ever so slightly. But now, if you have a boyfriend and he's sitting at home waiting for you to come home because he's thinking you're out with your girls, how is that gonna help when he finds out? So we would have first episode just me and her crunching it up, taking shots at each other. But because it's on camera, there's a certain need to keep things anonymous. So I'll be like, what happens if a woman does this? But she knows I'm talking about what she did last week. But she can't come at me like, I didn't mean that. So she actually explains what she really felt in that moment. So then I understand a bit better. So then we got, okay, let's have guests. So that it's not just our ideas. Let's see if this woman is going to agree with you, because I still don't agree with you after this chat. So then we started having guests, and then we broke up. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What do we do with this podcast? You have 50%, I have 50%. Whenever you come back in Joburg, you can run like a season or whatever. So we still have that thing going on, because the whole idea of creating this was for her to have a thing for women. But now I'm stuck holding the bag, doing the admin, recording, editing, promoting, and it's like, this is actually a really good idea, because it opens up the potential for a platform that isn't quite there properly here.
My friend and we were talking about this like as girls, it was 4 girls, and we were like, there's no chats like that in South Africa as well.
Exactly.
But you know what I've noticed on the ones overseas? Everyone gets defensive.
Yes.
Then the girls tap into like a masculine energy and want to overpower the boys, and the boys just say, oh, fuck that, you guys are hoes anyway.
Exactly. But that wouldn't fly here like that. I feel like because in the US or in the UK, they're so far ahead of the culture. Because we here in the third world, we merely adopt the culture. We only started liking Drake because Drake was blowing up everywhere else. We only wear skinny jeans because it became a thing everywhere else. We only doing Housewives of Joburg, Housewives of Durban, because it started blowing up there. So we're always behind in the culture, in hip-hop, in fashion. And so when it comes to something like having an open conversation, it's hard for us to take it as far as they do. Like just calling a girl a hoe and like all of this and all of that is like, with the South African context, it's getting there. But that's why I felt like if we can be a part of that first wave, then we're going to have the whole, whatever this industry will turn into, we're going to be one of the Jake Pauls, the primes of this world. So I think it's going there. People are becoming more open to speaking on camera.
Yeah, well, with Mac G's podcast, people are very open.
Yeah. See, Mac G is
Mac
like...
G is just... But I feel like anyone can do that because obviously not the way he does his own thing, but I think people are still scared to speak their mind, and then with him, he's really not. And it's a good way to show that you can actually say things. Speak.
Exactly. I just think
people are going to get offended anyway, but that's opening up the conversation.
People are going to be more interested because you have an opinion. Whether they like your opinion or not, they're going to still come back because like there's an opinion
and I
here.
noticed that with that Peniel guy. I don't even watch his stuff or whatever, but people are complaining about him, but they watch his things.
Who? Andrew Tate?
No, Peniel.
Who's that?
Guy, he was saying something about Mac G on Twitter, and then people going on with him that nobody watches his things and whatever, but he started gaining. Because you will find your people that will align with you in a way.
Yep, definitely. And they will find you.
You will find the people that do align with that content.
What's that saying? You vibe with your tribe. Like, I feel like that's true to anyone. Everyone is a small business that just hasn't launched yet. Like, if you have an Instagram account and you have more than 30 pictures, you're giving Instagram free money. Because they're getting more clicks off of your account and you're not leveraging that to sell anything. Like merch or fucking nails or a small business that you have. Because social media, to me, I cannot see social media as a personal thing. Like, I get on social media and I have a headache 5 minutes in. Because there's a lot going on. It's like, let me post what I need to post. Let me watch the stories of the people I need to watch just so they see that I'm still engaging with their stuff. And then get out. It's a business. Sell something.
Social media is a little bit of a hole. If you get stuck in it,
you forget what reality is.
Completely.
And that's dangerous. Because once you get there, only success can pull you out. Because now you're comparing your lifestyle to Loren's. And you're like, why am I not on a yacht? Having deals. It's like, no, you're not doing the work. So yes, use social media how social media is meant to be used.
I think that's also what put me off social media so much is the fakeness. I'm not a fake person at all, so I just don't understand it, so I just don't enjoy it. It's weird, it bothers me. It's an odd thing to do.
I feel like people who are fake on social media are people who wish they could be you. And what I mean by that is, because they don't have it, they portray themselves as having it or being there. But someone like you,
people like seeing, they want to see, oh, today you're in a Bentley, tomorrow you're in this, like that thing became so crazy. And it's like it's just
status.
Weird. And also, people talk so much about everything. It's insane the amount of things I hear about myself in Joburg, and I'm like, I'm not even in the country. What is going on?
I'm not even there. It's fake news.
I heard this about you. I'm like, when? Oh, apparently last week you were there. I'm like, I'm not even there. I'm in another continent. What do you mean?
Exactly. See,
and I didn't post that, but like now
that's the sentiment, yeah. But you see that's what the blue tick. The blue tick was originally created for people like you, who just that's your life. Like you flying around, you doing shows, you being in the mall.
I feel shy to post it because it's like,
am I bragging? Am I being arrogant? Yeah, but that's your life though. You're not lying.
I know, but it feels awkward. It feels weird.
Can I ask you a question? Do you not feel like you're a star? Has the celebrity thing not kicked in for you yet? Are you still in denial about that?
In denial? I don't think denial's the word.
So you have pull. You walk in a room, everyone's like, oh, I know this person.
But that was always my life.
You see, that's what I mean. So you're literally the example that the fakes need to watch to convert from fakery to the real shit. Because when they're gonna see you, they're thinking you out here blowing 200K every weekend because your lifestyle just looks so Paris Fashion Week, you know. But then when you're on a platform or you have your platform and you're like, listen, don't lie to yourself. This is really what it is. This is really where your expectations should be. This is really how I move. If you want to move like this, authenticity is the key. And then before you know it, you've started a wave. So you definitely have pull. I think you're in denial about your star.
I just never felt like it was that deep.
See, probably because you're surrounded by stars as well. See what I mean? Royal.
Do you know what? And I don't like those people. That's why I also took myself out. Like going to events and being around all these people is not great. They suck. They're terrible people.
Status.
And that to me, I can't. Like you go to events and you'd see it when you do big campaigns. Then you'll just see how things change, how people treat you, and the fluctuations of it. Everyone's take a picture. Oh my gosh, let's take a picture. Oh my god.
For the likes.
It's just so tedious. I don't know.
So you're the friend in the group who you're the friend in the group who everyone's like, yes, Loren is here, we shining. So you're surrounded by everyone who's like, picture, selfie, live.
You know, all my friends, well, my closest friends, my friends, are like me. Not like me, but they know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So
vibe with your tribe type thing.
yeah, they know who they are individually. They have their own light. They go with it. They shine wherever they go. And that's why it's hard to also have female friends, because a lot of friends, they do that competition thing, or like, I need to
outdo her. Yeah.
And you know, I don't have that with my friends. And it was so difficult to even find people that are like-minded, because in Joburg everyone wants to be like,
everyone wants to blow up. Yeah.
Everyone wants to be famous. To me, it just seemed very shallow in a way. I don't know, maybe it's pride.
I don't think it doesn't sound like pride. It sounds like
I just wasn't interested.
and forgive me for saying this, it sounds like privilege. It sounds like you were just born with a star on your head. You were like extremely blessed, and you were born with this natural privilege, and everyone else around you sees it for this big thing, and you're like, I was born like this, like chill.
Because I know what I had to work for. When I was in school and stuff, when I did sports and things, I did it to the best. I worked hard at it.
Mm-hmm.
So this for me was like, you guys are going on about nothing.
Because I'm not even doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it didn't like quantify, and it didn't seem like a real thing. The way people are going on about it seemed ridiculous to me. It did.
That's wild. That's
to
wild.
me, what's ridiculous is that I'm not a doctor right now.
Mm.
That's my issue. Not that I wanted to be a doctor, but like just.
But
that
like,
I didn't continue with my academics and just working at that.
Yeah, like people look at you and like,
I've
you've
used
made
it.
it, and you're like, I haven't even gotten my law degree, and it's like, nah, girl, you can open any door you want right now. Do you feel like
I've always focused on that. So for me, with the beauty and whatever, it was something I never thought was a thing.
Yeah.
Or like impressive, or like
no,
anything really.
It's impressive. Especially, I feel like you're popping in a very key time. Like you're popping in a time where all the qualities you have are all the qualities that sell and that people want to look for. So you're literally in a time where now social media is like.
And you see, the problem with social media for me is you have to sell yourself. I've never had to sell myself, so I don't know how to do that at all.
What do you mean? You do that already. Every time you post something, and I'm gonna confess, I have a notification bell. So every time you post something, I know. And I look at your post and I'm like, the standard of quality, this is like, I'm sure she doesn't manage her own Instagram type posts.
Mm.
Like, it doesn't look like an average normal girl posting stuff. It looks like you have a marketing team making your content.
Please tell me you're joking.
I swear to God, like,
You know, I look at my Instagram, I'm like, this is disaster. I don't actually know how to do this.
what? No, you're capping. You're on yams. What?
And also, I don't.
No
so
ways.
Many pictures.
Stop.
And
Stop. This is a catalog. This is a model's
I don't
ideal
like it.
dream portfolio.
I
Like,
don't like the setup at all.
that's crazy.
I actually think I do need someone to do it because
I'm sure your emails are always going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm launching this fashion line. Could you? Hey, there's a show. Stop it, Loren. Stop. Stop. Stop.
I think I need to learn to step into it more.
Like, own it. I feel like that's where
You know,
you.
my friend said to me, it's like, Loren, you just need to make an alter ego because you know that it doesn't.
If you had an alter
To
ego,
me, it's a bit silly.
if you had an alter ego, like, would she? What would her name be? And B, would she be like the polar opposite of the real you? Would you look for some like? Because we all have it in us, right? You just don't expose 80% of who you really are. So when it comes to alter ego, it's just a matter of unbottling the cap and letting that side of you that's already there, just unfiltering it. Who would that person be?
She'll be a Russian spy.
Oh, she's got a katana, guys. Be careful. She will cut you out.
I've always liked tapping more into the sexiness and the, you know, a bit of a dark feminine.
You look like a Russian spy.
Well, thank
You
you.
look like you're running an op right now. Are you undercover? What agency do you work for? Are you ex-Mossad? Tell us.
You don't even know, baby.
This is a safe space, I promise.
No, it's a safe space.
Snitches get stitches.
Exactly.
No, but clearly you could do whatever you want. I feel like you could audition for a movie right now and you'd get the part. Has that ever crossed your mind? Like film.
No.
You could be a Bond girl. Dead ass. That's actually the perfect role for you.
That would be a great role.
You could
See,
be
something like that. I think I'd do it.
Yeah. Like pretty but tough as fuck.
But yeah, my life was, you know, the direction I was going was never towards modeling. It was kind of always just,
Do you feel like modeling kind of chased you down and
Yeah,
like
it took over my life.
grabbed you by force and was like, you belong here?
yeah. It did.
Privileged. Some of us, we try to grab modeling and it's like, nah, not you. You're not ready for this.
I forget that a lot of people do want to be a model, and then I'm always like, why?
Have you ever met someone who really wants to do it but just never could? Who told you like, look, this was my dream?
Quite a few people.
Okay, so you do know how painful it is for someone whose dream it is to be a model who maybe
I can't even imagine.
will
No,
never
I
have.
Also, a lot of the time people have this idea about modeling that it's just prettiness and lovely and cute, and that's why a lot of girls, they go to a first shoot and they say, no, it's not for me. They go to one casting and they're like, no, it's not for me, because you very quickly realize it is not just you looking pretty. You just have to pop up. Everyone's gonna be there like, oh wow, you're a pretty girl. Everyone's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Every single person there.
I have to ask though, do you have security when you're on these like sets and stuff?
Depends on what you're shooting. So if you shoot with like diamonds and stuff, and you know it's very expensive, there'll always be security. It will be a certain person handling the jewelry. You can't really move.
As soon as you're off, it's gotta come off.
Yeah,
Get in the
immediately.
special box. Okay.
Even clothes, shoes, and stuff.
Yeah.
Everything really.
Literally, the insurance security guard is there. Nah, you've lived the
whole
life.
time.
What?
She did this great ad with BMW,
Mm.
and just the cars and the set and the people. It's insane. Like really big productions.
I think
It's amazing to see. It's like amazing to be a part of.
that makes it somewhat worth it, right?
It does.
Like,
No, it really does. You learn a lot.
Yeah, and you travel and you see places. I feel like that's one of the biggest things anyone should ever do in life. Leave your country,
Yeah.
even once.
Yes, I agree.
See how small the problems are at home, and you'll see your vision get more clarity. So see, that's the dream. That's what they want. The status of it. It's like, I'll put up with the sacrifice for 3 years, and then run my own agency. I feel like a lot of top models eventually run agencies, and then they coach the younger models. It's like, is that something that you feel is in your calling?
Yes, I've always been, especially after this last fashion week, a lot of the young girls, because modeling's changed so much, they don't even have that presence anymore. Like, when a model walks in, a model walked in.
You're like
you walk into a check and someone will be like, oh my gosh, you're a model.
Yeah.
And you're just shopping. But at fashion week, we don't even see, you just crawl into the side. Girls forgot that you just need to step in, greet everybody, let people see you. You notice where the photographers are. You see the makeup artists, greet them. Don't just get in, listen in the corner, then come, can I sit down? Is that my name? I'm not saying be dramatic and a lot. Just
be her.
Yes.
Yeah.
They forgot that because everybody's just there's nothing. They're giving nothing. Really, nothing.
So confidence is a big thing.
And it's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing. You don't even need to believe it. You just need to
fake it till you make it.
I'm supposed to be here. What's happening? Let's start. Let's go. Bring your own energy, even if that energy is subtle and soft, but bring it. So let us see who you are.
Who you really are.
And that's the biggest thing with models. I got rebooked a lot of times because I was remembered. I came in as myself. They were like, oh, Loren.
She made that impression that, oof, who's that? I need to know who she is. I need to see her again.
And most of my clients worked like that. That's how I got most of my jobs. Wasn't through my agency. Maybe they sent me the casting for the first one, but after that they just kept rebooking me because I worked well. And those were for campaigns. And they don't use the same people on campaigns.
Yeah.
And going to events, networking, people remembering you, then they see you on the thing and they're like, oh my gosh, I remember that girl. She was everyone saw her. You weren't trying trying to impress anyone. You were just really being yourself and stepping into it.
That is a major key. I feel like that little piece of advice actually costs money.
And I forget that myself. I'm remembering it now that I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
But I have to remind myself of that. And if you don't have that around you and you've never seen it, how are you actually gonna know?
Vibes.
So I'm doing a model boot camp type thing for the girls because they wasted my time at Fashion Week. So that was also one of my main motivations because they can't walk anymore. No one's doing the training. Our agencies are actually just sending castings, making sure you get there, and that's it. End of story. There's nothing happening to develop. There's nothing.
The fundamentals are lost.
Yeah, it's completely lost. And with when I started modeling, they were the older models that they'd tell you and they'd be there to support and help. But now, I don't know. And also a lot of influencers are coming in, so they taking the show basically because they stepping in, being this super creative and purple hair, and so they're already standing out because they're part of the inclusive and the inclusivity on the runway. So they come already with that personality. They are the one from their group that has brought the personality or the something.
So do you feel
the models are just there?
Do you think the industry needs more established models to guide the new generation, because the people who are in charge aren't models at all, so they don't really understand the experience? Or it's just a thing of the business model needs to change? Sorry, no pun intended.
Okay, let's go with Fashion Week specifically. The lady who runs Fashion Week, she's still with that. She was in the time of supermodels. Tall, you're skinny, you don't eat, you smoke cigarette, those are her girls in her mind. She wants that still. Even though she's doing all these shows and things, in her mind that's a model. So these girls are different. They're not that at all. And she just kind of accepted that that's how they are, and everyone just leaves it and then they complain about it afterwards.
It's like, well, what did you do about it?
Nothing. And there's nothing they can really do. The agencies are supposed to do this, but the agency doesn't train you. Everything I've learned myself.
So would you start your own agency?
That was in the works. But it would be a very small agency.
What would your criteria be?
Like maybe 10 models or less, 8.
Uh-huh.
So what we were going to do is, so this was a plan with my ex. We had this whole thing. But now we broke up and he ruined my plan.
Ugh. Only a minor setback.
Only a minor setback. He's still moving forward. He's part of the plan. Oh, he annoys me. Anyway. But yeah, it would be more focused
You look like you're
on certain models. So the criteria would really be the standard criteria. You obviously have to be tall. You have to have a good body. I'm not saying be the skinniest one, but like you just look after yourself. Like, I'm not the skinniest girl. I just eat healthy. No, like I eat normal, healthy, and I work out here and there, but I'm not like starving.
But it's not fake because you're naturally like this. You
That's
probably
what I'm saying.
have
a lot of these things
yeah.
people are not realize. You need to be naturally yourself. If you have to fight, like when I started modeling, this 15-year-old girl, her mother had on such a strict diet. She was 15, I was 18. I was eating a muffin and having coffee. Her mom was like, you can't have juice, it's too much sugar. I was like, that can never be a thing. That was my first experience with modeling. And I was like, I already knew that was wrong. To me, I was like, I'm never gonna do that. That's so wrong. This poor child, she's 15. You know, she was the skinniest girl ever.
Yeah.
Skinny, tall. And now she's not even a model. And she went through all of that suffering because of period.
And that's like a health hazard. Like you're literally
and then you
killing
end up
yourself.
hating it. You don't want to be a part of it. Every time you think of modeling, it's like a trauma.
Every time you think of yourself, it's like self-esteem issues. That's wild. It's it sounds glamorous, but the insights you're adding to it is giving me the sense that it can get pretty dangerous for someone who doesn't understand themselves to begin with. And is like buying into the syrup, like
because then the insecurities will hit you because you'll be like, oh, these girls are so pretty, I'm not pretty. Meantime, you're in the same agency as them, we had the same castings, but you see everyone and you're like, they're prettier than you.
You crawl within
yourself. Someone is
yourself.
prettier than you. They just are who they are. You are who you are.
You
It's
have
not
a
about
quality that
anything
no
else.
one else has. Find it, exploit it.
Nurture it.
Otherwise, you're gonna try to be a copy and paste of
For the
someone.
rest of your life, and it
and-
will never work.
Nope. That's crazy. No, this. Okay. I feel like I'm taking too many keys away from the podcast. So,
Yeah,
how do
we
you
actually-
feel about hot wings? Do we?
Chicken licken.
Whatever, we can get the wings from anyone, but I've got some hot sauces here that have failed me recently because everyone who tries them actually has a higher tolerance for hot sauce than myself, so I always look like the little bitch in the video with my red eyes and shit. So how do you feel about doing
I
a
love
hot wings
spicy
piece?
food,
Yeah,
so-
oh my god,
Let's go.
my street cred is going to the shits
It's in the gutter now.
at this point. Okay, cool. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to order where do you want the wings from?
I don't know.
Chicken licken, KFC.
I've never had KFC's wings.
Let's try KFC's wings. Let's get KFC's wings. I'm gonna order them. It's probably gonna take 30-45 minutes to get you, so we can start shooting the podcast now, and then I'll order now. By the time we're done, it's gonna get you. Then we shoot like 10-15 minute me crying. and then that's it. I hope I'm not taking too much out of your day.
Yeah, no, not really.
How much time do we still have? Because I can really speed things up as well.
Yeah, I have something at 1:15.
Alright, cool. So let's jump into this now then. See how much time we have when we're done. If it's gonna fit or not.